Writer jumps back, the Gemara is jumping back and forth here. The Gemara is not going to go to another detail in the Churban of Beta. Amar Rabbi Sholom Zirkind, going so Ketzutzei Tefillin, Nitzu B'Roshei Harugi Beta. Now Rabbi Sholom, the name of Rabbi Sholom, 40 sa'ah of Ketzutzei Tefillin. Tzitza, when you have Tefillin, you have the box of Tefillin, you have the Ritzu of the strap. Ketzutzei means just the backs, the bottom, not the straps. So he says there were 40 sa'ah. 40 sa'ah is about 87, it's the equivalent of the amount of the volume of 87 of a mikveh. 87 American gallons, for those that want to be precise. So there was 40 sa'ah of Ketzutzei tefillin, that they took from tefillin shal roish, from the heads of those that were killed in Beta. Rabbi Sholom Omar, Sholish Kupay Shal Arboim Sa'ah, Masnisa Tana, Arboim Kupay Shal Sholish Sina. Rabbi Sholom says it was 3 boxes of 40 sa'ah each. The Raisa says it was 40 boxes of 3 sa'ah each. Loi Pliti Hadrei Shal Dada. The Mother says it's not arguing. There's, in other words, the tefillin shal rosh compared to the tefillin shal yad, the tefillin shal rosh is 3 times bigger than the tefillin shal yad. Why? Tefillin shal rosh has 4 bottom, the tefillin shal yad has only 1 bias. But nevertheless, in the tefillin shal rosh you have 4 different parshas. The tefillin shal yad, they're all written on one long parsha. So technically it ends up being that the tefillin shal yad is not just 1 box of the tefillin shal rosh, it ends up being a third. Those days also the bottom probably weren't exactly the way we have them today. They're probably more smaller, colorful. So one place it says it was 40 sa'ah of tefillin shal rosh. Another 40 sa'ah of tefillin. Another place it says it was 3 kupes of 40 sa'ah. So the 40 sa'ah were from the tefillin shal yad. The 3 kupos, the 3 boxes of 40 sa'ah, were the tefillin shal rosh. The Gemara says by earlier that the 40 sa'ah was found in the heads of Harugi Beitar. So we're going to have to say that Roshei here, whatever, at least Pashas, Balabada, Roshei means not dafka on the head. It was on the body. Amar Abasi, Arba, Kabin, Noyach, Nimsol, and Achas, Ulam, Tisha's Kabin, Amar Abkan, Ritei, Meshila, Bar Mori, Maikrov, Asbol, Ashtuda, Asher, Sheishalom, Asher, Sheiches, Nikas, Salayach, Al-Asama. The Gemara again is jumping back and forth. The Gemara jumps back now to the Churban of the first place on Mitosh. It says that the Bavliim, they took Jewish children and they smashed their heads on rocks. On their brains, the Kuman Islam splattered on the rocks. So it says it was 4 kabin, about 1.5 gallons of grain was found in the rock. Ula says it was 9 kabin, which is a little more than 3 gallons. And Afghan brings the pasuk, it says, Bas Babal Ashtuda, a daughter of Babal was plundered, Ashrei Shishalom Lach, Lucky is the one that will pay you back what they did to the Yidden. Ashrei Sheyoiches Nipitzes Selalayach Al Asala, Lucky is the one that will take your young children and smash their heads on the rock. So this pasuk shows that the Bavliim, that's what they did. They took Jewish children and says the Gemara Vayter B'neitzim Hayikarim HaMusuloim B'Paz. The pasuk that says in Eicha, the sons of Psiyan of Yerushalayim, which are precious, HaMusuloim B'Paz. The Gemara is going to try to understand what the word Musuloim B'Paz. Paz, a certain type of very precious gold. The Gemara says, "My Mesuloim Bapaz." What means Mesuloim Bapaz? If you're going to say it means that they were coated with gold, they had golden jewelry on them from this very precious gold. It says in the Shiva Rab Shila that there are 2 measurements of sloim, small measurements of this special gold that came into the world. One in Rome and one in the whole world. It's impossible to say that there was enough of this gold that all the children in Yerushalayim, they had jewelry, whatever, they covered their bodies with this gold. So El Shahoyim Megan as opposed to Yofim. The Gemara therefore entices what does Mesulayim Mepaz mean? Mesulayim comes from the words Meshubach, praise. Rashi means a pasuk, Seidul Aroichet, praise. They were praised through comparing them to gold. In other words, they were even more beautiful, their complexion was even more beautiful than this gold. So we wanted to praise them, we would praise them by saying that they're more beautiful than gold. And the Gemara says a story to prove this, as Chashivit Ramoi have not to begin the Gushpalka Mishamshi Arsai. The Chashiv, the people of Rome, they used to take, and they used to have relations with their wife, they used to take beautiful images that were in their signet rings and have them nearby, and look at them so that the women should become pregnant with similar images. From then on, they would take Jewish children, tie them to the feet of the bed, and have relations, and they would look at the Jewish children. The Jewish children were even more beautiful, and so they wanted to have beautiful children. So they, by looking at the Jewish children, we see that the Jewish children are more beautiful than everything else. So the mother says the story. The two Jewish boys that were tied up over the bottom of the bed. One turns to his friend and says, "Where in the Torah does it say this?" It's such a klola, they were tied up here. Where does it say this? He told him it was a pasuk in Parshas Kisavai. Torah lists a bunch of different things. Then it says that also every sickness and every plague that's not written in the Torah will also happen. So he said these are one of the things that the Torah itself mentions. There'll be certain things that are crazy, but they're not even mentioned. This is one of them. He asked him, he didn't learn the pasuk yet. He asked him how far away is he from the pasuk. He says not too much, just a page and a half away. He said if I would have learned the pasuk, I wouldn't have needed to, because he would have realized on his own, such a crazy klala that he's tied up. This is the what the pasuk must have meant when it said Gam B'choli B'chol Makash L'chosam B'sefer HaTeira Zis. Amar Rabbi Sholom Zirkind Mai Nechsiv Eini Eirul L'Nafshim M'kol B'nei Stiri. Rabbi said in the name of Rabbi Sholom Zirkind that he said on the pasuk that Eini Eirul L'Nafshim M'kol B'nei Stiri means that his eyes, he cried so much that his eyes became dirty because of nafshi, because of his soul, because of what happened to him, that he was the only one that survived and called City from all the people of the city. So he says that Arba May is what can you see so you become better. Says there were 400 shuls in Beta. Each one has 400 teachers. Each one has 400 children in front of him. So again, if you make the cheshbon, it comes out 64 million. So it could be there were 64 million, but the first should say it's, again, 400 is a number of whatever the explanation that we look at Maram or Krag, another the first, it's a number of ribu, it's a number which signifies a great amount. It wasn't left out, it means literally there were 400 times, 400 times, 400. So he says there were so many children, there were so many children, when enemies would walk in, they would poke them with their pointers, and they all had, like when you have the yad by your Sefer Torah, they had a pointer, and they would learn with, they had so many kids, that with their pointers were able to chase out enemies. When the enemy strengthened himself and they went in, they took the Jewish children and they wrapped them up with their scrolls and they burned them in fire. So he said that Moshe cried, he was the only one that survived, and he cried so bitterly about this. He said about himself, the pasuk Eiki Elon Nashim Kol Meisim. Says the Gemara, Vaita Tomer Rabbanon Chachamim learned Ma'aseh Rabbi Shimon Chananya Shalach L'Krav Gadol Shel Shebereim. Rabbi Shimon Chananya once went to a big city in Rome. There's one child in the prison has very good eyes, he looks good, his curls are organized, curly, nice curly hair, and you should try to get him out of prison. So he stood at the entrance of the prison, and he started reading a passage which says that who gave the Gittin to be trampled upon, and Yisrael, the Jewish people, to Goyim, to plunderers, the people to loot them, to plunder them. So, I say Tinnik, that child was a learned child. He answered him, told him the end of the passage. It says it's Hashem, isn't it Hashem to whom he sinned him. They didn't want to go on his way, they didn't want to listen to his tale. He said that I am sure that one day he will become a Moira Hera, he will ask him Shilas in the Jewish people. He said, I swear, Avoida is the lashon of Shvuah, that he's swearing in the Avoida of the Beis HaMikdash. He made a Shvuah that I'm not going to move from here until I redeem him with all money, any money that they want from him. He says, he didn't move from there until he redeemed them with a lot of money. It didn't take long until the Taka became a teacher amongst the Jewish people. And who was this? This was Rabbi Sholom Zirkind. Which is another story now, which says about the son and the daughter of Rabbi Sholom Zirkind. It's not Dafka, just to point out, it's not necessarily the same Rabbi Sholom Zirkind we just learned about, which that's talking about he was a kid. But there was a story with the son and daughter of Rabbi Sholom Zirkind. They were captured and they were bought by two different masters. A while later, the two masters met in a certain place. One master said that I have a servant that there's no one like him, his beauty is like no one in the whole world. The other master said, I have a maid servant and there's no one as beautiful as her. And the Chalik would love this. They said, let's decide to marry them off. The children would be very beautiful and would profit from selling the children, whatever they wanted to do. They put them together in a room. It was nighttime, it was dark, they didn't recognize each other. And each one was sitting in another corner of the room. Was a shivcha. One said that Sholom and Elisha was the Kohen Gadol. One said, I am a Kohen, was the son of Rabbi Sholom and Elisha, said, I am a Kohen, the son of Kohen Gadol, will marry a shivcha, will marry a maidservant. And she said, I am a Kohenes, female, the daughter of Kohen Gadol, and I'll marry a regular slave. They cried the whole night. Kivan Shalom Mud HaShachar Ekiru Za'azav Maflu Za'alzah V'gol B'bchiyat Shasam Ishmasam V'aleya and Kainam Yirmi Aleila Mi B'chiyat Yirmi Yirmi. When it came dawn and it became light, they recognized each other. They didn't know who they were. When they were captured, they were separated from each other. They didn't know that the whole night they were brother and sister. In the morning when they recognized each other, so they fell on each other and they cried. They cried so much that they died from the bitterness. So and then Yirmiyah says, we say Meicha that for these I cried. My eyes drip with water, with tears. So this is one of the particular things is this particular story that this pasuk is talking about. Mother says another two stories. The mother says, Rish Lakish said there was a story with a certain woman, her name was Safnas Bas Kniel. Safnas Shakel Tzayfim B'Yafya Bas Kniel B'Ti Shakel Gadol Sheshimish L'fnai B'Lefnim. Safnas comes from the word Sipiyat, to look. Tzayf, everyone looked, she was so beautiful, everyone would look at her beauty. What does it mean? The daughter of Kniel. Peniel comes from the word Lefnai, Lefnim inside. She was a good of the Kohen Gadol. Well, the Kohen Gadol would go inside to the Kodesh HaKadoshim, where no one else was able to go. So she was captured. She was Al Boshavoi Kol was the person that captured her, and the whole night he abused her. The next day, he put her on 7 different garments, and he took her out to sell her. There was one guy that came that was very disgusting looking, but he wanted to see her beauty. And he told her captor, the one that captured her, show me your beauty. He told him, make every person. If you want to buy her, take her. Because there's no one like her beauty in the whole world. He said, nevertheless, show her to me. So he took off 6 garments. The 7th garment, she herself tore and she rolled in ashes. She said to David, the master of the world, if you don't have Rachmanis on us, but why shouldn't you at least have Rachmanis on your holy name? It's possible you're known, everyone knows that you're so mighty. By you allowing this to happen, people, it's a chilul Hashem. People say, where's David's might? Yirmiyah mourned when he said, Bas Am Yichid Yisak. He says, daughter of my nation, wrap yourself in sackcloth and roll in ashes. Abel Yochid Asilach. Make for yourself a single personal mourning. Mispeit Amrud and bitter eulogy. Kisayim Yovei Hashedi D'Aleinu. Because suddenly the plunderer, the capturer will come on us. So this pasuk referring to the story that she rolled in ashes and so on. But the pasuk emphasizes that the plunderer came on us. What means on us? Alecha le'nemar elo aleinu. It doesn't say the plunderer, the robber came on you. It says it came on us. What means on us? So to say, David says that I consider it that this person, the robber, came not only on you but also on me. Like she was saying, that it's not only the Yid that are suffering, David should also, as a chilul Hashem, David says that it's what's happening, the Messiah affecting Gittin and David himself. The mother finishes off with the story, what is the meaning of the pasuk? They will steal, they will cheat. A man in his house, a man in his inheritance, his property. The mother says, there's a story with a person that wanted to marry his teacher's wife. Now, it wasn't his teacher in Torah, it was his teacher for carpentry, to be a carpenter. So, was one time that his teacher needed to borrow money. So he told his teacher, so send your wife to me, I'll lend her the money. He sent his wife to him, and he spent with her 3 days. That's why he said he sinned with her. And then he went, before the wife went home to her husband, to his teacher, so he went back to his teacher. His teacher said to him, so the wife, my wife that I sent to, where is she? He said to his teacher, I sent her back right away. I heard that she sinned with children on the road. So his teacher said, what should I do? So he said, if you follow my advice, he says you should divorce her. So he said to his teacher, said to him, but if I divorce her, I have to give her a ksuba. If a woman sinned with Aiden, whatever, you don't give her a ksuba, but here, it was just a rumor. So I don't have money to pay a ksuba. So he said, I'll lend her the money and he'll give her a ksuba. His teacher divorced his wife, so he right away married her. It came the time for him, for the teacher, to pay back his student the money. He didn't have what to pay back. So he says, come, you owe me money, you'll be my servant. And that's for payment for your debt. So work for me, now will pay up your debt. So they were sitting with the student and the wife, which was his wife, which was originally the wife of the teacher, were sitting and eating and drinking, and he had to sit and serve them. And tears were dripping from his eyes and falling into their cup. At that time, the Gzar Din, the decree of destruction was sealed because of this Maisa. A lot of people say because of 2 wicks in one candle. 2 wicks in one candle is a evidence for Aisha Sisha. Some people say that this woman, even before her teacher, even before her husband divorced her, she was hanging out for 3 days with this man, which was Aisha Sish. So was this Maisa that particularly brought about the Churban. Shabbat, the good Amos, Hashem, take it from Mamish, of the Golden Medal, Sasson, Simple, Meditating, take it from Mamish.